guys. Welcome to the TFT patch 10.23 patch note rundown. This patch note rundown, I've heard, has a lot of different things for like in the systems in terms of reworks. So let's just read. Welcome, Fortune Changes. Yes, that's me. We're creative in a few of our buffs and nerfs this week with a few changes approaching rework territory. Senzao's spell is getting significant changes that will make a viable AD carry for warlord compositions. Great, by the way, because currently the only carry is Katarina, and it's kind of bad that there's no secondary carry. So that second one's always good. We're also curbing Aphelios' unhealthy attachment to Rageblade by removing his turret ability to trigger on attack effects and generate mana. That's really good. Finally, and arguably the most exciting change, we're adding more loot tables for Fortune 10, 11, and 12 round losses. This is what I'm going to be trying to do and losing all my games to do. KD Little Legends are hitting the virtual shelves this week. Cool. Patch highlights, I don't even care about this. I'll get into all of these later. Later. And where I went forward and back and I lost my patch notes. Cool. Squink, Fury Horn, Light Charger. Oh, it's like this. This is Feather Knight. Alright, whatever. Systems, we made improvements to movement, character champion movement logic to result in more consistent and expected behavior, most notably at start of fights when champions interact with each other. This is probably pretty significant, but I can't tell the actual numbers or looking at it. A lot of times when you think, let's say if you have everything backlined on the back row, a lot of times it feels like your characters move up to different hexes and interact with their opposing front line a lot. And it's really strange. Like, why did your backline move up when he was in range to shoot stuff? Hopefully this fixes some of those problems. Cultist Changes. With Cultist Changes, kind of double star levels, we're seeing overperformance with Cultist 6 in early stages of the game. It's true. A health nerf that hurts this early survivability, while the mana buff increases his effectiveness as a tank in later stages. The immunity to crowd control will make him supreme variant of Galio a more reliable overlord. Oh, they actually added it. That's so great. Okay, Galio ultis a lot sooner, and he's tankier when he's doing it. His base health goes down by 100. That honestly doesn't even fucking matter, I'm pretty sure. And Galio Cultist 9 has QSS. It's something that I've kind of talked about in the past, where I think that Cultist 9 should have QSS because he gets kind of a 9 synergy getting negated by Lee Sin or just crowd control feels really fucking bad. There's still a lot of ways to deal with him in terms of like just raw damage, like whether it's Giant Slayer, Ashe, or like Callista. But at the very least, he's like actually can be not CC'd for 8 seconds. It's actually really great. Really nice way to chase 9 cultists and feel good about it. Other trait changes, Dazzler 2 goes down to 40%, 4 still at 80. Okay, it's overperforming right now, I understand. True damage and damage reduction goes up to 10%, back to pre-nerf values. Divine also goes down in duration from 4 to 3 at 2, and then 6, 9, 13. Nerf to 2 Divine, buff to more. Okay, Divine's a little bit weak, I guess. Outside of maybe Warwick. Hunter goes down. I think 2 Hunter is too strong, actually, so I kind of agree with the Hunter bonus being decreased. Fortune 10, 11, 12 going up. That's great. If you get to 12 losses in a row and you can cash out your Fortune, I'm extremely impressed that you're not dead by then. And I'm definitely going to be trying to go for these 3 at the very least myself. Keeper duration goes from 10, 11, 14. That's actually so good. Because when you're getting bigger shields through Keeper stacking, a lot of times you can't even burn through the shield unless they have Shiv on all the units before like it's a problem. So I actually love that the more Keepers you have, the longer the duration of the shield. It's great. It's a really nice, elegant solution to having more Keepers, and especially making them relevant mid to late game. I love it. It's really, really nice. So that's a thumbs up for me. I don't think you'll still be playing 6 Keepers much, but you'll definitely be playing 4, and they're going to feel a little bit better. Champions, Aphelios' extreme synergy with Rageblade forced him to overall weak balance state where he doesn't have the item. True. We're decoupling his reliance on Rageblade by removing the turret ability to proc on attack effects or gain the mana. Great amount. Now we'll be able to put Aphelios at a better baseline, hopefully allow him to succeed with multiple item builds. Okay, we'll continue to trigger on-hit effects. Got it. The starting mana goes to 40, 80. Wow. Okay. The attack speed for base goes up. That's kind of nuts. That's actually like, holy shit. Okay. It will continue to trigger on-hit effects. Wait. so it might be Shojin might still be good. He'll probably still be decent with Rage Blade, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how strong it's gonna be. Because they'll work with Lifesteal and Shojin, but it's definitely something where I'm interested to see where it's gonna go. I do agree he was really affected by having Rage Blade. Without Rage Blade, he wasn't really a champion. Contempt of the Week, Zed got buffed by Z1 and Z2 got buffed. Z3 is a monster unit. I'm glad they didn't buff him. And Z1, Z1 got buffed here. Okay, I think Z1's still pretty strong, so I have no problem with that. Akali has to be got increased. I think after she doesn't reset as easily with blue buff, it makes it so that she doesn't do her damage DPS was so low that she wasn't like a possible carry in 6 assassin comps. So I've seen buffs to Akali here is kind of helpful, very nice. Katarina Deathless went up at level 1. I don't think she needs buffs. Honestly, I play a lot of Katarina. I play a lot of Warlord. She's very, very good with items. Don't really want to see any changes. I think she has very clear, obviously, strengths and weaknesses. So there's no problem with her in general. Kalista 3 got 1% damage up. No problem. I'm down for that. Kalista 3 should be good. Kennen is a problem right now. I think Kennen is a pretty weak unit in general. Part of the reason, I think one of the biggest things is that Kennen ults too late into the fight. I'd much rather give up damage so that Kennen can get more consistent AoE off, as opposed to getting more defensive stats around it. I think that's the biggest thing is it's like you can't play 4 ninjas a lot of times because Kennen is so weak. Shen's a great unit. Zed's an okay unit, not bad. Akali's a pretty good unit, but Kennen always seems like he's kind of the weak unit in the quad. The like if it's like it's 3 musketeers and a dog, and Kennen's the dog, and so. I am glad they're at least buffing Kennen because it does feel like they understand that Kennen's kind of weak. But yeah, I really miss times where Kennen from earlier sets like set 1 was a lot more powerful. I do think that does come from Kennen's I guess mana pool. I think if Ninja got a nerf for Kennen to be buffed better as an individual unit, I think that trade-off would be very, very nice. But they did just buff Keeper and they're buffing Kennen's base stats, so I think maybe like a little bit might go a long way here. Senzao rework. Okay, so Senzao is one of the 2 carries in Warlords when you play 6 Warlords, but unfortunately, he sucks. So you never could stack him. So I'm glad they're reworking him. So what is this? Our previous attempts at making Senzao a legitimate carry have fallen short. True. So I'm going to go a little bit more extreme with mini rework. Our Crescent Guard hopes he becomes a good carrier of 80 items. Okay. Sweeps around them, dealing 350% of its attack damage. Okay, and gaining armor and MR for the rest of combat. Okay. Now the normal spellcast and instead of the weights, there are no challenge units. Does this stack every time he casts it? The starting mana is 40 of 80. If it looks like it stacks, so he just gets like infinite fucking MR armor. Okay. Interesting. To the fucking arena we go. He definitely will cast a lot less now, but all right, I'm down. If it can, this is a huge percentage AD scaling. I am down to see Senzao become a monster carry. I think even in Duelist right now, you kind of stack Kalista and you stack Yasuo and maybe a little bit of Jax as your front line. But Senzao is definitely kind of the weaker unit in the comp, and you tend to toss him out for Lee Sin every time. So I think Lee Sin does deserve kind of his spotlight. Hoping this at least makes him playable. It might be too OP, but we'll see. We'll see how it looks out. Tier 4, Ahri is a champion who can dominate entire T5 if she has the right items. We're adding some potential ways that our opponents can disrupt her plans. Really? Okay, yeah. Talon can be a bit oppressive to fight against, since targeting allows them to reliably take out the enemy carriers very quickly. True. We're just in Talon slightly to open up more time. Okay. Divine Trade is being rebuffed when we ensure that fighting against work doesn't evolve into him permanently studying his opponents. We're looking to replace the fear with an entirely different mechanic than before. Oh, okay. They're going to rework him as well? All right. Ahri's Steered Bomb is an actual channel that can be interrupted? That is weird. Okay. Causing Ahri to release her orb early and reducing the size of the impact area. Really? So they buffed Ahri 1 and 2 by a little bit of damage. They nerfed Ashe health and Ashe armor. I think that's fair because she gains armor with Elderwood, so getting defensive stats from that is okay. Sejuani's starting mana. Oh, remember? I don't know if you guys heard me talking. I said that it was like last patch rundown or the patch rundown before that Sedge really needed her max mana increased because I feel like she was casting too many times in the fight. They heard me. And so they increased her max mana. I'm really happy about this. I think that she should not be ulting like 3-4 times a fight because it's so impactful. I think like 2, 1, a little bit is fine. If you're stacking Vanguard, she ults 6 times in one fight. I've seen her ult 5 times in one fight. And I was just like, what the fuck? I don't know if that should be allowed. Talon kill reset goes from highest damage dealt to lowest armor. Oh, that's so weird. Okay. And there's ways to work around it, like GAing your backline unit will make the armor increase so he doesn't go onto it. That might actually make Talon weak. Somewhat weak. That's funny, Morton. I'm watching you. I have this. What's armor? Even if you GA your backline, you still eventually. The Talon eventually jumps to it in like 4 all the time. Okay, maybe it's not bad. It just means that like your carry gets assassinated like second. Instead of second, it gets assassinated like third, fourth. Okay. And the increased duration actually matters too. Warwick Fear duration got decreased to 0.75. Wow. And the attack speed got nerfed. Wow. What the fuck? Warwick got kind of hammered here. I know right now there's a Warwick build that involves the new Hurricane plus like Deathblade, which I think is kind of a little bit popular. But I'm surprised Warwick ate this many nerfs this patch while still maintaining like a very, very small divine buff. He's probably gonna be a little bit. I think Hunter's got nerfed here. Surprised he got hit so hard. I think it's gonna be very hard to like kind of make Warwick as dominant of a carry as before. He's definitely gonna be kind of weak this patch in comparison. Lilia ended up getting buffed a little bit. She's the weakest 5 cost in the game. I'm fine to give her fucking buffs. I think that's fine. Lee Sin's 3-star Lee Sin's knockout punch hits an area and knocks out any enemies directly hit regardless of board position. That's so fucking funny. I'm down. If you 3-star or 5 cost in my game, you deserve to win. I don't care. It is so hard to 3-star or 5. I've done twice this set total and I played so many games. And it's mainly because of fortune I was able to. It's all you, man. Kane Reaper targeting has been adjusted to be more consistent in finding a valid target to spin towards. This is a huge buff. So last patch kind of broke Kane's targeting to where even if he spins next to a solo area, he can't transfer to spin well. And it made it so you couldn't play Kane. Like he was so inconsistent. The only way you could do it is if you ran RFC because it allowed him to chain between individual units immediately. But it made it so like when it like an attack speed item instead of an AP or mana item became his core itemization. Ever since then, Kane started falling off the train and Yone became the go-to 5 cost that everyone wants. I think that now with this back into play, like Kane can finally be a more consistent 5 cost, which is definitely what they need. Because like the 5 cost units, especially Kane, wasn't strong enough as to warrant the purchase essentially. Fix the bug where spell crits will not work if they're connected to an auto attack that was already critting. I didn't even know this was a bug. Item panel will no longer automatically switch to trade tracker when the shop opens. Okay. I don't play on mobile. I think the only thing that I'm surprised about here is that they didn't end up nerfing Adept. So Adept is very popular and very common in in-game comps right now. I think that at some point they need to rework how QSS and Adept kind of function and Dazzler kind of functions because I feel like the CC in the set and having 2 trades being negated by QSS makes it for a real balancing problem. I've heard that in the future they're going to kind of decouple I think debuffs and CC, which is really good for the balance of the game. But yeah, I think that's an issue. I'm just surprised they didn't nerf any Adept champions. I think they're seeing a little too much overuse at the moment. And I'm surprised the Ashe nerf wasn't a little bit higher. But I guess the Hunter buff plus the other stuff might make it so where she is okay and in line. Regardless, I don't really care. I'm going to be chasing 12 Fortune. And so it should be fun.